Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. I hope all is well with you and yours. So, you guys, today I wanted to just keep on adding on to my talk yesterday morning, which I did get uploaded last night. It's kind of towards the evening. It took a little while to upload it. YouTube didn't like it. It took me a good 3 hours to get it to finally upload. So, which was interesting, right? I mean, you don't think YouTube would really care about anybody talking about the Elohim or anything, but apparently they had to take a second look at that and stuff. So, look, folks, what I've been talking to you guys about is something that you're not hearing from anybody. See, most people don't want to delve down this road because, people that are on the religious right, they don't want any questioning of the Bible, of the Old Testament. They truly believe that Yeshua was Yahweh. I mean, it's crazy, but that's what they believe. When Yeshua was the absolute, complete opposite of Yahweh. I mean, Yeshua came teaching pure love, peace, cooperation, between people, taking care of each other, exposing lies and exposing, the hypocrisies of the church. And he even told the Sadducees and the Pharisees, don't you know that your father is the devil, And we could go into what Yeshua taught in the Gnostic teachings, and some of the books like the Book of Thomas and stuff, where it alludes to reincarnation and all kinds of stuff. See, I truly believe, folks, that Yeshua either had a near-death experience at some point in his life, or he had some kind of OBE, or he was around people that were able to do OBEs. And I'm kind of wondering if the Essenes, the sect of the Essenes, because he was an Essene, so was John the Baptist and Mary Magdalene and his mother Mary. I'm wondering if they had the ability to do controlled OBEs. And so they were able to travel on the other side of the veil, meet with spirit guides, meet with, with the source. Because some people that have NDEs, they actually meet the source, and they can talk to the mind of God, and so it makes you wonder, he was getting, learning on that side, and then he was bringing that information back over. I mean, pure love, right? I mean, people that come back from NDEs, folks, one of the main things that happens is that they change the way they look at living and treating people. When they go through the life review, they see how they affect people, and every action you have or interaction with somebody, you can leave them with good energy or bad energy. You can cause ripples in the quantum field, essentially. And that's ultimately, everybody says that, the life review, it's all about interactions and how you treat people. So it's all about essentially love, like pure love, right? And everybody says it when they cross over that it's pure love, and it's an infinite realm, where anybody can manifest anything they desire in that realm, that higher realm. But everybody only manifests good because it's such a high vibratory realm. You're in your higher self, your highest spirit self. And so you're operating from a place of pure love. So you're not manifesting negative things in heaven. And I'm only calling it heaven just to, simplify the explanation, right? But you're manifesting just, what's good. And so I wonder if the Essenes had the ability to do controlled OBEs. Maybe they had certain meditations. Maybe they were using some plant medicine that helped them in that endeavor. If you guys haven't listened to him before, look up Darius J. Wright. He's very interesting. He's pretty easy to find on YouTube if you just search his name. he's been having controlled out-of-body experiences since he was, I think he said 15, 16 years old. And he says he's done it hundreds of times now. Like, he has a system where he can teach you how to do it, too. And he's been mapping out the other side, the other realms outside of this realm. And past the veil. And meeting with spirit guides and such on the angels, whatever you want to call them, it don't matter. Some Christians, if you don't call them angels, they get really upset. Like, they're angels. That's all there is. There ain't no spirit guides, blah, blah, blah. Look, folks, it's just different descriptions of the same entities. Just like the Elohim. They're the Anuna. They're the Anunnaki in the cuneiform. They're the council of the gods. They're the watchers. They're the angels. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we can all argue over names and descriptions, but it's the same. Just different names for the same entities, right? So, I don't know. I find it interesting that people actually try to say that Yeshua is Yahweh. When you look at Yahweh's actions, that's not the creator of all. I mean, why would the source of all creation, literally the mind of the universe that we're all part of, we're all fractal of, all of the, where all the energy comes from in the universe. I mean, why would that God need blood sacrifice? Why would that God need to pick one little group of his children, vast amount of children? Look, folks, we don't even know how many humanoids, there are in other dimensions, in other worlds, in other realms. I mean, we don't know. If you're into the planet thing, in other planets. I mean, we don't know. Okay? So, to think that God needs to pick one little group of people and treat the rest of humanity like they're just, cattle and chattel, and, and create beings that he knew they would have the propensity to sin, and then, punish them for their sins? I mean, here's the thing, folks. In the Old Testament, it never once says anything about him loving humanity or anything. It's just demanding obedience and worship. And trust me, every time that little tribe, that supposedly were the chosen ones, every time they disobeyed this God, they got sent into slavery and stuff. Twice they got sent into slavery. Babylon, right? Was it Babylon, then the Assyrians? I just know they went into captivity twice. I mean, come on, man. Ooh, wow. That's one hell of a God, man. Imagine. What a loving God. But it was for their higher good, I'm sure, right? Yeah. I mean, to say that God is Yeshua, come on, man. Have any of these people that say that, have they actually ever read the Old Testament? I mean, look at the book of Job, dude. It's like a pissing contest between God and Satan. I mean, why would God torture one of his most loyal worshipers? Oh, just to prove he's faithful and loyal? I mean, wow, that's how that's how desperate God is to prove that people believe in him and stuff. See, to me that represents one of these Anuna trying to masquerade as a god. Basically trying to trick gods to worship a god. And now we're going to get into the rest of that talk yesterday, okay, folks? So, those of you that didn't listen to my talk yesterday, you might want to check it out. It's called We Are the Elohim. And oh, trust me, I almost put Are We the Elohim with a question mark, but then I said, you know what? Let's just go hard into the paint, okay? And I'm truly starting to understand this just from what I see, from what I've been studying and researching and tying it in with NDEs and everything. See, folks, we are the Elohim. the shining ones, the powerful ones, the immortal ones, the gods. We've always been the Elohim. It's just that some of our brothers and sisters, and I don't know how many of us were there at the beginning of the creation of this realm. Perhaps we all had a hand in the creation of this realm, in manifesting it, working, creating it. And now some people are going to say, oh no, it was God that did it. Well, yes, folks, but if you read the Old Testament, it talks about the council of the Elohim. It doesn't talk about God. Nowhere in Genesis, in the creation story, does it say God. It's always Elohim, the gods. It was the gods who created Adam and Eve. Now, was that a hybridization of a species that was already here? Or was that an actual, from the ground up, they created this? Now, I would assume that it was trial and error, because we have all these different humanoids that were on the earth. Cro-Magnon and all these different types, Denisovan. And so, I don't know if this realm has been like an ongoing experiment for a long time, and then they came down here after the planet's been terraformed for, hundreds of thousands or millions of years. And then there's these humanoids, that have been programmed to be here, or have been, I'm still on the shelf about truly what evolution means and is. But anyways, because if it's a simulation, folks, look, DNA is coding, okay? And if it's a simulation, the quantum field, then it's a type of, I don't mean like a computer like your desktop at home, but it's a type of computer system. It's like on a more massive, powerful scale than you could ever imagine. But it is some kind of a construct, right? And DNA is just coding. It's coding. I mean, it's the coding of biological life on Earth. Think about it. If Earth is the computer program, then living things that that have DNA, or even, I mean, hell, everything has DNA, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like it's a coding. It's coded. So are animals introduced here? Are different things introduced through coding? Perhaps. Folks, when people cross over and have NDEs, and I look, never take my word for any of this, folks. I've told you guys where to go search this information up, right? The cuneiform tablets to read, listen to these NDEs. Like, you can connect all these dots yourself. You maybe you have a different perspective, but look, my understanding of these NDEs is that Earth is like a shadow of the higher realms. It's like everything we have here is being constructed based on what we already have in the higher realms. It's interesting. A lot of times when people have NDEs, they say that there's these grand cathedrals and libraries and skyscrapers, and there's technologies. There's like holographic TVs and iPads and all these things, man. So all these devices were already created and manifested in the higher realms. So it's like on Earth, we're trying to recreate those technologies here, but in a lower realm. And let's be real, folks, in this realm, because of duality and because of what's that called? The law of where everything kind of degrades here. What is that? It's right on top. Entropy. Law of entropy, right? In this realm, things don't last, though, like they do in the higher realms. Because it's a lower vibration and you have duality. So you have a mix of energies here. Whereas in the higher realms, it's all high energy. High vibration. So here you get things break down. They don't last, right? It's a different type of realm. But it's like a shadow of the higher realms. It's like everything that we create here is pulled out of the Akashic records, like a download to people. Like a lot of inventors, folks, like Tesla and stuff, and Leonardo da Vinci. A lot of these guys, they talk about getting downloads of this information. Some of them would purposely meditate to get downloads, ideas for inventions and stuff. And what you'll find is sometimes certain inventions pop up simultaneously all around the world with different people getting the same idea at the same time. So it's obvious that there's downloads that happen in this realm. Now, we are like receivers. See, our brains are like a receiver, like an antenna. And the seat of the soul, the pineal gland, is the connection point between our spirit, and the human body and the mind, the brain, right? That's the connection point between spirit and body and mind. But these sorry folks, I just lost my train of thought. There was hope that little guy's gonna be okay. A little chihuahua just out of the blue ran across this bridge, and it's like early in the morning, and there's like hardly any cars, and kind of dangerous. I thought it was a cat at first, but a little chihuahua. Wow. But it's not a good spot to go park, folks. So I'm not gonna go run out there and try to grab that dog. And you know how chihuahuas are; those things will bite the crap out of you if they don't know you. So hopefully that little guy's okay. Anyway, sorry, pattern disrupt, folks. But the point I'm trying to make is like, look, this realm is a construct, and we pull ideas from the higher dimensions down to this realm. Whether that's, people get these ideas through meditation or in dreams or just in like, what do you call that one? A eureka moment, where it just pops into your mind. Now, everything here, was it programmed? Was it coded? It gives a different idea of what these Elohim were, right? But the point I'm trying to make, folks, is look, it's the Elohim. It's the gods. It's not God. It's the gods. We are co-creators with Source, folks. So the Elohim came here to work on this construct. And like I said, we may have been here helping. It may have been a collective effort of all of us Elohim from the higher dimensions that came here to work on this world. Like some grand construct that we all worked on. And some of those Elohim decided they fell in love with this world, or they got so enticed by this world, by the duality and the darkness, the opposite, right, of the light, that they decided to set themselves up as gods on the earth. Instead of managing this realm, they decided to take it over. And that's what we've been fighting, trying to get control of this realm back, to take it back to the state of the Garden of Eden that it was before it got all manipulated and changed. And because see, our brothers and sisters, folks, that came here in full spirit power, not through the female portal, through the rules of the game, right, where you get limited in the human avatar to come play the game, they decided to play the game in their full form, in their full knowledge. They cheated. And because they've done that, they drug this world into a low state that it is now, where everything has become more negative than positive. And I know the new age, just love and light, just it's all love and light. It's how you create your experience. Look, folks, okay, I'm a realist. I guess maybe they got a point, okay? But let's be real, folks. The state of the world, it don't matter how much you try to say love and light, I create my own reality. Well, folks, there's millions of children starving around the world. There's wars going on. Hell, the radical left is, the globalists have been trying to push us into a new world conflagration. We know that, right? And that's about all I can say about that, because you know how that goes with censorship and all. But this world is, it don't matter how much you close your eyes and plug your ears and la 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 la, love and light, love and light. It's not all love and light here, folks, okay? Let's just be real. I get it. Try to have a positive outlook on life. Try to manifest positive things. That's a great thing. But just to be like, I create my own reality and I only see love and light in this world. Well, you're lying to yourself, because look, you were sent here for a reason. I think we're trying to wrestle this world back from our brothers and sisters that got lost in the game, that went too deep and got too deep in the dark, the negative, and they became tyrants, and they're still running this game like tyrants. And because of that, they brought a lot of negativity into this realm. I mean, it's to the point now, when you're born on this earth, you're born a debt slave. It don't matter what country you're in. Well, maybe if you're in some, third world bush country where people are still living off the land in like mud huts and stuff, yeah, you're okay. You're probably not, your country, even if it does have a central bank, you're probably not operating with too much money. It's not as main of a focus. But we're talking about the more Western countries, or the Eastern countries, the more civilized. And I'm not trying to put any of those people down that just live off the land and live simple. Look, that's a positive thing in some ways, not being seduced by all this technology and everything. But let's be real, folks. If those people could have air conditioning houses and abundant, food, and a lot of those people would give all that lifestyle up in a minute. I mean, let's just be real. Like, those people live like that because that's that's their situation, right? Or and maybe when they chose to come here on earth, that was what they wanted to experience. Kind of living primitive amongst a world that's technologically advanced, right? Which is very interesting, isn't it? That we can have, like, on the same world, we can have some people literally living without electricity, hand digging, their wells still, surviving off nomadic hunting, and living in mud huts and such, just very primitive, right? Or like tribes in the jungles, Amazon jungle and stuff, like, and then you leave the jungle and you go to like some of the cities in Brazil, which, like Rio de Janeiro and stuff like that. It's like such a contrast, right? It's insane. Or like Johannesburg in South Africa, right? But, you probably go out a couple 100 miles out north of Johannesburg, and all of a sudden you're out in the middle of nowhere where people are living in mud huts and all that still. So it's kind of crazy, man. This world is really interesting. I mean, it's wow. It's an interesting place, right? And I don't know, folks. I'm just speculating. I don't know exactly what all this is. I'm just trying to make sense of it like any of you are. But the point I'm trying to make by saying we are the Elohim is that, look, we're all collective fractals of God. We're all collective consciousnesses. We're in a collective, but we're also an individual consciousness. But we are all connected with Source. So these Elohim, these Anuna, these ones that came before us and that were working on this realm, and that were, hybridizing this human vessel, which we all now inhabit, right? If you're here listening to me right now, you are in the vessel that the Elohim created, or at least hybridized, okay? Genetically modified, whatever you want to call it. You're living in that body that they tinkered with, okay? Go read Enki and Ninmah, that cuneiform tablet. They're tinkering with different, with genetics on humans. They're working on this Adam prototype. I mean, so, I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? What I'm trying to say is, like, look, we may have had a hand in the creation of this realm. I mean, and we are all, even the Elohim, we were one. They're our brothers and sisters. They're just named that because they were the particular consciousnesses that were here, that set themselves up as gods on earth, that basically tried to take this realm over. It makes me wonder sometimes that the reason we incarnate on earth is not just to learn, not just to experience duality and all that, but perhaps, it's interesting how a lot of people that get sent back, they're told on the other side, either by God, by guides, by Yeshua, by whoever, family members, they always say you're getting sent back because you need to teach people about the truth. That you need to wake up our brothers and sisters on earth that, look, you're immortal spirits and you're just here having an experience. Like, don't fear death. It's all part of the process. Like, It's, look, like you live forever, okay? You're just having an experience. You're temporarily visiting here, right? But it's interesting. Well, why would that be such a big thing to enlighten people? If we come here to experience the duality, to play the game, to why would they want to wake us up to that? And it's simple, because the ones who rule this world are trying to trick us into not knowing that we're spirits, that we live forever, that we're immortal, that we're manifestors, co-creators with Source. They don't want us to know that, because look, they've been in this game for so long. They're so dark and so deep in this realm that they don't want this route. They want to hold on to power, okay? Just like any dictator, right? They'll do whatever they can. They'll poison our pineal glands with fluoride. They poison our foods to break the body and the mind down that our spirit uses to interact with this realm. They're breaking that down. All the electromagnetic pollution going on to mess up the fact that we are a type of antenna, that we can connect with the higher realms, like through meditation and stuff. But if you mess up that antenna, right, with all these frequencies and disruptions, maybe it makes it harder for people to connect with their higher self or with the higher dimensions. So they're doing all this on purpose, folks. What they're putting in the skies and the water and the food and the medicine, it's all to dumb us down, to control us. Now, why? Because they don't want to give up power. That's why. And they've been here so long, that they've been away from the source, the light, for so long, that they've lost a lot of their energy, their source, right? And the longer they stay here, it's like the more they lose. And so then what they have to do to offset that is they feed off our energy. They look at us like batteries, like cattle, right? So, it's like we come here to experience this realm, but then it's almost like we also need to try to awaken each other, because we can bring this back to the Garden of Eden that it was meant to be, folks. But instead of a slave planet, right? A prison planet, whatever you want to call it, because that's what they turn it into. I mean, the day you're born, you're given a social security number, which is there's actually a number on your social security card, which is a number that is traded on the stock market. So you're traded as a collateral on the U.S. debt. What is the word I'm trying to think of? Security. Yeah. You're a security to the debtors that own this world, right? That do the central world banking out of City of London. And then, before you leave the hospital, they come in and they put ink on your foot, and then they put your foot on the birth certificate. See, they just put your soul on a contract. So, word magic, right? Your soul, the soul of your foot, right? The soul, they just put your soul on contract, because the birth certificate is a type of contract too. So it's like you're good. It's like a goods and service contract. You're cattle, right? That's how they see you. Why do you think your work calls you human resource? Because for one, they're dehumanizing you, and two, they're basically saying that, look, you're just a product. That's it. So we could go deep on this, folks. I'm going to keep going on this, because I don't care how many people this upsets, because so many people are saying, you're blaspheming the Lord, and all this and that. Like, don't you know? You're blaspheming, Elohim, the Trinity. Like, no, folks. Like, look, this is not that. What this is I'm trying to wake you guys up to what we are. And we've been tricked for a long, long time. And anyways, there's some weird dude out here, guys. I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, there's always something interesting going on here at this place. Oh, I guess he's going around taking free pallets. Oh, okay. Anyways, so I'm being nosy. Anyways, guys, hey, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Remember, if you're interested in doing a one-on-one Zoom with me, my time for your donation. Things are rough right now with me losing my Exit the Matrix Facebook page, and still to no avail from Facebook trying to get that back. But we're going to keep pounding away here on YouTube, which what it's done, folks, is it's forced me to go harder on the videos. And maybe that was, a plan all along. I mean, maybe it was a way to encourage me to do more of this, you know, and less posting and stuff. And because this is a lot more, I don't know, I like videos a lot more. You know, you can put your thoughts out there instead of just like a meme or a post or an article. Like it to me, it means more, you know. And I love hearing from you guys. And look, this is information that 99.9% of humanity is not having a conversation about. I mean, this is look, folks, if you're with me, you're on the fringe of information. You're on the fringe of thinking and ideas. And I don't mean that like I'm a crazy well, man, you might think I'm a wacky, crazy kook, but um, look, I've read a lot of stuff and I've studied a lot of stuff and I've come to my own conclusions and theories, and I'm just sharing my ideas. I'm not saying any of this is ultimate truth, folks, okay? So, you know, those of you that will come attack me about, you know, going against your religion or faith or whatever, well, you know, all you're basing your beliefs on are what other men have told you and what books have told you. That's it, you know. Now, have you had an experience with God? Perhaps. I mean, we all can, right? If we're all fractals and children of God, then we all have that ability to pray and connect with God anytime we want, right? Now, this world makes it hard sometimes because we're in a constant survival mode, or most people are, right? Look, even wealthy people that make like six figures, they're so leveraged on their big fancy houses and cars and credit cards and everything else, you know, summer vacation homes and who knows what. Look, just because somebody makes a lot of money doesn't mean that they're not at the brink of, you know, possible bankruptcy, okay? All it takes is a loss of a job, you know, or a business closing down or something, and boom, those really wealthy people, you know, that you would think are wealthy, that have six-figure incomes, heavy six-figure, they could lose everything just like that. So, look, we're all debt slaves. I mean, we are all, doesn't matter if you're a lesser debt slave or a heavier debt slave, we're all debt slaves, you know. I guess until you're at the point where you're in millions of dollars and you could just go pay cash for a little house and walk away and live in the woods for the rest of your life off of interest and money in the bank. I mean, yeah, okay, that's kind of hard to argue that person is a total slave, because if they're off the grid and they have enough money to just survive outside of the system, then hey, more power to them. I mean, it's very hard though. Let's just say 99% of us are, you know, stuck in debt slavery, okay? Like, look, if I stop working, I lose everything. I'm sure if you stop working, you lose everything. Or if your husband or your wife, right? So it is what it is. But anyways, guys, which is crazy because in the higher realms, we manifest whatever we want. And so maybe look, that's why we come here, folks, to experience this harder realm to survive in, to experience. So anyways, we got to keep going on this, folks, because look, for one, I want you guys to understand these Anuna, these angels, whatever you want to call them, they're no better than any of us. They just came in their full power. Look, the point I'm trying to make is, if instead of you coming into the human body, if you came directly from the higher dimensions into this realm, you would be much bigger, more powerful. You'd have like superpowers compared to regular humans, right? I mean, if you listen to what people talk about NDEs, how they get instant downloads from the universe, like knowledge-wise, right? How they have a 360-degree views. They can speak telepathically. They can manifest things instantly. Imagine if you came to Earth and you had all those abilities. You would be like a god, right? Yes. You see what I'm trying to say here? Get it? Yeah. Remember? The Anunnaki, the Anuna, they were bigger than humans. They were more powerful. They were shown as having angel wings all the time. Well, why was that? Well, because they probably had the ability to fly and stuff. They were supernatural, okay? They were not, they fashioned themselves bodies here, but they are still, like, they didn't come through the female portal and encapsulate their spirit into a limited human avatar, okay? You get what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, we're going to keep going on this. But tomorrow, I actually might do a live tomorrow, folks. So we'll see. I have tomorrow off, actually. I've been itching to do a live on YouTube. I was starting to do a bunch of lives on Facebook until the page got stolen. And I was loving that interaction with people. Man, we were having some super deep conversations. I mean, I wish I could have recorded those and brought them and put them here on YouTube, because they were amazing. Anyways, folks, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later.